This is Buster Keaton, and this is a real £4,000 wall about to fall over him. If he stands exactly in the right spot, the window frame misses his head by just 2 inches. If he's off by even 1 step, this becomes his last movie. And here's the wild part. This was filmed in the 1920s, long before green screen or CGI were even a thing. In this video, we're breaking down the most incredible stunts ever caught on film by Hollywood legends Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin, and Harold Lloyd. And once you see how they pulled it off, the behind-the-scenes magic might impress you even more than the stunts themselves. If you've ever been on this channel before, there's a high chance you've seen this clip already. And by looking at it without context, it's hard to understand how they pulled this off. The scene is from Sherlock Jr. from 1924, and we see the main character played by Buster Keaton being chased by 2 characters. He meets a man who tells him to jump through his briefcase, with nowhere else to go. Keaton goes for it, and when the man walks away, he's nowhere to be seen. And even now, 100 years later, this stunt still looks impossible, especially when you realize they pulled it off without CGI and without a single cut. The man is actually laying his feet on a support behind the wall, and only his head is sticking out. He's also holding onto 2 handles, which is almost invisible in the film, but if you look closely, you can see them sticking out right here. There is also a trap door in the wall, which allows Buster Keaton to jump through the briefcase and on through the wall. As soon as Keaton is through, the man drops his feet down and the door closes behind him. You can also see him holding onto the dress when he turns around to not reveal it was open. Let's see them side by side in full speed. If you think this is an impressive camera trick, just wait until you see the one from Charlie Chaplin. But first, let's move over to another Hollywood legend, Harold Lloyd. One of his most famous scenes is this one, from his 1923 film Safety Last. In the story, Harold's friend Bill is offered $500 to climb the Bolton building. But because Bill is being chased by the police, Harold ends up having to make the climb himself. They plan for Bill to take over after the first story, but every time they try to switch, something gets in the way, turning it into an iconic comedy sequence. He finally makes it to the top where Harold almost falls off the building, but grabs onto a clock mounted on the wall. This scene was also filmed in a very clever way. It looks like Harold is hanging from a tall building, but if we zoom out, we can see that they built a full set on the roof of a building. They also built a small camera tower to get the right angle and sell the illusion. If anything went wrong, Harold had a very short distance to safety. I actually have a sponsor for this video, and that's myself. I just opened a store where I sell maps and views from cities around the world from over 100 years ago. For example, this one is from New York in 1878, which is really cool and has much detail. Or this one from Los Angeles, when only 65,000 people lived there. These, plus a bunch of other prints, are available as posters, framed art, canvas, and even on clothing in the store right now. And if you use the code TIMELESS, you get 20% off your first purchase. Check out the link in the description or go to lostintime.io. If you do, you directly support this channel to continue creating videos like this. Thank you so much. Charlie Chaplin is probably the most famous actor of the silent film era, and with so many incredible stunts and iconic scenes, he definitely earned the title of Hollywood legend. If you haven't already, I highly recommend checking out the official Charlie Chaplin YouTube channel. It's a true goldmine of entertainment. But for this video, we're focusing on one specific scene from modern times. Chaplin's character gets a job as a night watchman in a department store. He finds a pair of roller skates in the toy department, and while trying to impress a girl, he doesn't notice the danger behind him. He even blindfolds himself and keeps skating near what looks like a deadly drop. But what's the trick here? They actually used a technique called matte painting. If we zoom out, we can see a glass plate placed in front of the camera where they've painted the floor below. So in reality, there's no gap behind Chaplin, and he was completely safe while filming. This technique was used for the first time in 1907 and has been used in classics like Raiders of the Lost Ark, the original King Kong, Star Wars, and Titanic. To show you how it works, here's a simple example I made. Let's say I want to add a new floor to this building. What they did back in the day was to paint this floor on glass in front of the camera to match up perfectly to the background. Let's go back to the king of epic stunts, Buster Keaton. This stunt is from his 1922 film Daydreams. In classic Buster Keaton style, he's being chased by the police. In an attempt to get away, he grabs onto a streetcar moving quickly down the street and pulls himself in and away from the police. It's very hard to spot how they did this stunt, but if you look closely at the bottom of his suit, you can see a small wire attached. And if you take a closer look at the ground, you can also see the shadow of the pulley system used to lift him up. I created an animation to show this trick side by side in real time. In the animation, I made the wire much thicker so you can see how it worked, but during filming, the wire was much thinner and almost invisible thanks to the motion in the background. Then we have this iconic scene from Buster Keaton's Steamboat Bill from 1928. A storm is roaring through the town, and Keaton's character wakes up in a hospital bed just as the walls and roof are blown away by the wind. His bed gets caught by the wind too, and he's dragged through the city. Eventually, he ends up in front of a building about to collapse. His bed blows away. Keaton stands up and the entire wall falls towards him, passing by with just 2 inches of clearance on each side. Let's hear how Buster Keaton himself explained this stunt. "We built the window so that I had a clearance of 2 inches on each shoulder, and the top missed my head by 2 inches and the bottom my heels by 2 inches. We mark that ground out and drive big nails where my 2 heels are going to be. Then you put the house back up in position while they finish building it." The wall was hinged at the bottom and held in place by 3 ropes. Hiding on the roof, 3 crew members stood ready to cut the ropes the moment the director called action. If you look closely, you can also spot another rope here, probably pulling the wall away from the building. The stunt was a success, and Keaton walked away without a scratch. So even with all the technology we have today, it's still hard to believe what these legends pulled off a century ago. They didn't have visual effects to fall back on, every stunt was real, every risk was real. And maybe that's why, even 100 years later, we still hold our breath watching them. If you enjoyed this video, YouTube thinks you'll love this next video too. Thanks for watching.